All right, 11/28, 2025. It is 6:25, and we're going to jump into another article. South Africa halts retail central bank digital currency plans as central bank prioritizes system modernization. Okay, their infrastructure might not be too good. South African Reserve Bank has decided to delay any move toward a retail central bank digital currency. The bank signaled that current payment modernization efforts offer more immediate value. South Africa's, and this is a X post from 7 Crypto. South Africa Central Bank says CBDCs can wait. So the South African Reserve Bank just dropped a paper saying there's no rush to roll out a retail central bank digital currency. While it's technically doable, they're more focused on upgrading the current payment systems and getting more non-banks. Non-banks. What do they mean by that? The update places the focus on improving existing systems while keeping future digital options open. The position reflects an assessment that retail deployment remains possible yet not necessary at this point. The bank plans to direct more attention toward wholesale CBDC applications. It also aims to examine cross-border payment efficiency, which remains an ongoing challenge. The South African Reserve Bank recently issued a stark warning regarding the rising use of digital assets and stablecoins in the country. The shift highlights the need to support financial institutions that manage large value transactions. These transactions demand secure and fast settlement features. The updated stance shows that the bank intends to build capacity in areas where system-wide improvements are most likely. The approach also keeps technical development active without committing to retail circulation. So if I read this right, it looks like they don't want to jump into CBDCs yet because they are noticing the uptick in digital assets and stablecoin use in their country, and they want to get their banks able to work with that, if I got that right. Let's continue. The research behind the decision reviewed whether a retail CBDC could fix issues in the national payment landscape. The findings indicate that major gaps remain. Roughly 16% of adults still do not use formal banking services. This barrier limits the potential reach of any digital currency. If you were going through the central bank. The analysis also shows that a successful CBDC must match the strengths of cash. These strengths include offline capability, broad acceptance, low user cost, simple interfaces, and strong privacy protection. These requirements set a high baseline for any future rollout. They also point to long-term design challenges that need further study. So we know that a lot of people in the continent that they call Africa are unbanked because they're not using technology. And they don't have, I guess, a lot of banks to accommodate the wide reach of the nations inside the land that we call Africa and the peoples, right? So I would say you need infrastructure and technology to make this move broad across the wide scope. They say growing concerns about crypto-related risks. The central bank has expressed rising concerns about digital assets in recent public. Now, before we go any further, let me say this too. There are highly technical countries inside what they call Africa today. Does that represent the whole of Africa? Probably not. Would people get left behind? Probably so. And I'll give you this for the United States. In the United States, fiber optic installation is on the rise. It drastically picked up 2025. It's been like it cost it they are paying companies are paying buku money to get the fiber optic cables ran to wherever they need them run. They're going up and down interstate highways. They're going down non-interstate highways. They're going down primary roads and secondary roads. Okay, that is setting up infrastructure to get information to data centers, because that's what it's all going to come down to because of the technology. You've got AI, and you now have the need for transaction records. So, not all of Africa has, I would say, possibly the infrastructure for this. The United States didn't. Clearly, they're working on it now. So, they might not be prepared, and this is what they're telling us, right? They're not prepared for it. Now, you do have phone providers like Telcoin, and they're not the only ones. You have a lot of companies that have the ability to get your digital transactions done without like having the fiber optics and data centers and everything else. But you still have to, you can't take the common person and roll them into using wallets and all this other stuff. They're going to need applications that are run by banks. And so I don't get long with it. I'll end this video with this one. Even in the United States, your common person will probably never be using these stablecoin transactions directly themselves. The banks will 9 times out of 10 have inside their banking app where your money is converted when it comes in from US dollars to USDC or PYUSD or RLUSD. It's going to be converted. And so you might see it and you might not. It just might say, the number and not tell you what it really means. And then you'll go into the store, whether you tap your phone or pull out your card. Your transactions will happen with you probably never even knowing. Okay? So, yeah, they're going to probably simplify it. Just won't make sense to you and you won't have to worry about it. It'll still go through the banks, which goes to the fact that the companies and banks will keep your wallet PIN. You have to have a PIN. Obviously, you got a bank PIN to get into your account. But when you create a digital wallet, you have to have this long drawn out code for that wallet. The common person is not keeping up with the wallet. Banks are going to do that. Doesn't matter how you feel about it. I don't even care. The common, your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, they're not doing that. They're not trying. They're going to let the bank do it. You let the bank pay your payments now. When you got bills, you have your bills automatically debited from your account. Most of the time, you don't keep up with it. You got too much stuff going on to pay attention. So, look, we're going to kill it there. I'll catch you in the next one.